And welcome back to another exciting episode of the Movie Hoppers. And today we have a special episode with some special guests. Yes, would you guys like
Woo!
to
Yeah,
introduce
very
yourselves?
special. Thank you for reminding me.
Shut up. You're the unspecial one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Thank you.
unspecial one.
Yeah, actually, technically,
I think
Nick's
you're
the
the first
unspecial
person
one
who's ever
here.
said that.
Yeah, I'm the unspecial one because I am a permanent member of the Movie Hoppers.
Yeah, we always have you in our back pocket. Um,
Yeah.
but what's the movie we saw, boys?
We
No
saw
safe
Spaces.
spaces.
Oh, yeah, how did you know?
Safe space.
Yes.
How did I know? I was there with
How
you.
do we? I just said it.
So, No Safe Spaces is the new movie by PragerU, and it's, well, it's not what I thought it was gonna be.
Whoa, Joe.
What?
I can't believe you.
exactly
You didn't
what
put
I
a
thought
trigger
it was.
warning. You didn't put a trigger
Wait a
warning.
minute.
Podcast.
No
A
trigger
trigger,
warning.
oh yeah,
Gotta have
trigger
a
warning. Trigger warning.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, shut up.
This is a
You almost
PragerU.
had me on safe space.
Jeez, yeah. Oh my God, I almost got sued by like the British government or whatever that was about in the movie.
Joe, you were close. Joe, you were close.
Yeah. So, No Safe Spaces is basically a movie about how freedom of speech is good and how it should be preserved.
Even for hate speech.
Yes, even
That
for
is more
hate
of a
speech.
specific point.
Hate speech is free because that's what's, being attacked right now. So I guess, obviously if I say, I'm going to the store and to get a banana, they didn't really cover that.
Somebody could be
So,
offended.
Joe, you're not allowed to say that in this.
oh
In
shit,
this
oh my God.
country.
Oh my God, what have I done?
Because bananas are characterized by
The climate you-
monkeys, right?
Uh-huh.
And monkeys have been used as terms of racial degradation on other ethnic groups. So I'd have to say that's very offensive of you to
You
pick
mean
such
like
a
Asian people? Okay. So anyway, what did you guys think of this film? You go
I
one at a
thought-
time.
Want me to go
Okay.
first? Or
Yeah,
go
Seabass,
first?
you go first since you asked.
Oh, all right. So, I thought the movie was actually. I thought it was pretty good, even though there were a few flaws that I could tell with the movie. But other
Yes.
than that, it actually it had a good point. I did accept the moral theme of it, and I was thinking, yeah, that's a good moral theme.
Mhm.
They just did a few things that kind of like I don't know if it really helps the theme or not. That's what I'm
I
gonna
think
say.
it was more than a
Alright,
few.
I think I should go next.
I
but-
think you should.
Alright. I think the movie itself was bad. I
Uh-huh.
think the message was good. It was a great message, but I think the way it was presented was awful and probably a pretty controversial opinion. Some freedom of speech isn't the best. Like I should not be able to go to
Oh
police
wait a minute.
officers
Wait a minute.
and say,
Wait a
I
minute.
have a bomb.
Yeah, well, no, that's a call. That's called a call to action. That's like I think that's either specified in the Constitution or somewhere else. That like
Yeah.
call to actions don't count as freedom of speech.
No.
So like, that's what they were kind of talking about in the movie too. If it's a call to action, that's what separates hate speech from, saying going up to the police and saying I have a bomb. It's the call to action. So anyway, is that it? Should we go on to Nick?
Yeah, go into neck.
Okay.
All right. So I agree with Steven with the presentation of the movie. It could have used some work. It basically felt like a compilation of varying news clips.
Yeah.
There weren't transitions at all, I don't think.
Not, I mean,
Some of the
probably
things
were-
just were so out of place and came out of nowhere. But other than that, the movie, its message was important. At least that's what I believe.
I like
Oh,
that
yeah.
it started a debate between me and Nick, basically right after the movie.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a vicious debate. It was just a debate.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. This movie, I do not, the filmmaking was pretty bad, but especially in the first half. The second half, they actually, that was okay. But like the first half was pretty bad. But I guess I really can't, not recommend it because it did what it was set out to do. The ends justified the means. It started a conversation, despite the fact that the filmmaking was bad. I think that's what it set out to do, and it it fulfilled its purpose. And really,
And we
that's
had like
all I had to do.
5 different debates for
that was actually a really fun debate. Like
Yes.
I enjoyed that a lot. It was nice, especially at the end. It's like if you do go to the movie go with friends,
Yeah.
because then you get to have a nice debate
Don't
with
go
them,
by
and it's like,
yourself. If you
yeah,
go
and like
by
you'll be able
yourself, the purpose of the movie just disappears.
Don't go with Max either.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
don't go with Max or another guy named Isaac. Don't go with them. They will completely
Yeah.
ruin it for you.
Talk about that.
Everybody watching this knows who Max is. Nobody in the world doesn't know who Max is.
Yeah, I know. He made sure of that back in
Oh, yeah,
'85.
This new
I
president's
do like how when I went to my seat, I smacked people with my coat and didn't realize it because nobody said anything.
No one said anything, but everyone was like looking at you and like coughing.
giving
And
you really bad looks and everything.
You
But
were
since I
sliding
couldn't see
against
it because I was facing the opposite direction.
and
Okay.
you could not
Okay,
hear
okay,
the sound
boys.
of it.
Okay. Let's go back to the movie itself. We can talk about our
Okay.
little war stories, our little Vietnam stories later. Let's talk about the movie now. Well, what do you guys think about the choice of using like clips from the internet, like that Ninja Sex Party video and the fucking like the South Park one, and those videos in the movie and like showing I thought that was like kind of awkward and drawn out when they did that.
Yeah.
Like they showed the entire
Yeah.
Ninja Sex Party video, the entire thing. That was just not
I
necessary.
liked the first clip that they put in with
Oh
the
my God.
it's like the Bill of Rights. getting
Schoolhouse
shot.
Oh
Rock
my
one.
I
God.
thought that was kind of
Schoolhouse
funny,
Rock is great.
but I also thought it was like super weird.
Oh my
and
God.
kind of
It was so embarrassing.
really strange.
The animation was so bad. It was disgustingly bad.
It was.
Oh my God.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was honestly funny though. Whenever I was
Yeah.
just seeing it, I'm like, what the heck? And I
Yeah.
was just laughing.
That was one
Joe,
of that
Do
was
we have any do we have any budget numbers
No,
for this
we
movie?
don't. I looked it up. It's probably low though.
I was like,
It's probably shot.
Probably like 4 cents.
Yeah. It's probably like shot on an iPhone.
Yeah.
But like
I mean, no, it did look like
Stuff
it
they
was
use
very
for-
high. It was very high quality at a lot of parts, and I kind of liked the some of the camera shots were really well done.
yeah.
Some of them, not a lot of them though.
Most were kind of
Nick, what did you think? I see you're remaining very silent. That's not like you. What did you think of the animation,
that's always like,
Disney level animation?
oh man, that animation. God, when I saw that, like I'm just
Wait, was that one
Yeah.
part from Ninja Sex Party? Wait, you said it earlier, and I didn't. I meant to say this, but that was from. Was it like the Social Justice Warrior thing?
Yeah, I think somebody went over. Somebody was like, "That's from Ninja Sex Party," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh
Wait.
wow.
you didn't fact check that?
Oh wait. Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
presented that as a point in a
Fact check it.
podcast, and you didn't fact
Okay.
check it?
We might have to apologize to our
We might.
Algeria viewers.
our lovely viewers who are out there. We
Yeah,
apologize.
no.
all 7 of them.
Let's see here.
For those of you who don't know, we're broadcasting live from Joe's Algerian apartment.
Ah, yes.
Um.
I'm broadcasting from my moving vehicle.
Oh no. I think it's wrong. I don't think it was
Oh,
Ninja Sex
no.
Party. I think that was an original piece of animation. I lied.
Oh no, Joe.
Idiot.
Apologize now.
Wait, what was it called?
Apologize.
Social Justice Warrior. Wait, Social Justice Warrior. Theme song. I don't know. Is that gonna come up?
NSP.
No. I was
I
wrong.
knew it.
Joe has
Yeah, I
been
didn't
canceled,
think so.
so
was
I
like,
am now
"Hey,
by
look, it's a similar
transit-
animation
I'm now
style.
the movie hoppers.
No.
Dude, now you have
No.
Nick host it, man.
Yeah,
Probably
you
now.
the order of succession, since Joe made a mistake that could have harassed our viewership, I now am in charge of the movie hoppers.
No. No. Wait, it had an Indiegogo. Wait, we know the budget. It had an Indiegogo. It had a budget
Oh,
of
God.
$691,000.
That's
Ah.
a decent, that's not awful for how it
Yeah.
was used. It's not bad.
Yeah, it made that money back too. Also, I know a lot of you guys, since you're like flicking your beans outside the theater. I'm stealing your word, but
Yeah,
since you're
listen.
doing that, you missed the first shot of the movie, which I loved so much. I love that more than I love life itself. Of Dennis Prager just sitting in a chair, looking like a badass, smoking a cigar. That's how the movie opens, and that's how I knew that I was about to get anally fucked by this movie. Just Dennis
Oh, yeah.
Prager looking like an absolute top. Oh my god. Just
It was funny how like everyone decided to just
I
skimp
look,
out on the
man. I
movie.
wanted to take a drink. All right, I was thirsty.
Uh,
I
Yeah,
had
You
a
couldn't
drink
get
in me
I got there
before I went.
I ran beforehand. I was gonna wait, but I'm like, you know what? I want to see this. And then Julia was like, just go, and I'm like, all right, I'm going. Then I went in and saw that.
yeah, it was very good.
Good opener.
By the way, my root beer didn't taste like it had any vanilla in it,
It
so I
probably
think
didn't.
that had an effect on my opinion of the movie.
Yeah, that's important to note. But Dennis Prager, just let's talk about how much of a Chad Dennis Prager just is. Him smoking he always looks like a badass when he's smoking a cigar.
Oh
Just
I
my
guess
gosh,
that's the point.
He's like fucking Winston Churchill.
he
He
is.
looks like him too.
Dennis
Yeah.
Prager was awesome in the movie. I think his acting was pretty
Dennis
good.
Prager was interesting. I think the other guy though, he was kind of weird.
Adam Carolla or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I didn't notice his name, and he never made me want to notice his name. He showed off his car collection,
Oh,
and that was it. Or
oh wait, no, that was
other guy's car
Stephen.
collection?
Wait, no, that wasn't Adam
No, that was
Carolla.
definitely his.
That was the other guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, his
No,
collection
Adam
of
Carolla
like
wasn't
$5 billion car. Because he needed to make sure everybody knew he was rich.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
obviously.
Man, those cars, I still have none.
Huh.
Californication is playing in the background, by the way. Just
Also, your audio is getting a bit scuffed. I think the Somali pirates are starting to get to you.
of course,
no.
sir.
But
They
some
figured out where I am.
something that I did not like about the movie though is how it kind of seemed to, I agreed, even though I didn't expect the movie was gonna focus on it so much with the main message of like speech, free speech, hate speech is free speech. It's necessary because, you know, because we need to know who is the type of people to say these things so we can call them out on it. But I think that the movie kind of went off the deep end one too many times for my taste. Like the part. Wait,
I don't know when we're gonna manage to mention the one girl's
the Asian girl. Well,
offense.
that's not what I'm talking about because I feel like that does play into the
know.
movie a bit.
That's gonna be a different point that I really want to be the focus, the focal point of because.
Yeah.
This
But-
was
I
really
I want to be the first
Anyway,
to bring it
so
up.
okay, guys, let's go for clarity, not wait. I always forget the second thing. Clarity, not argument. Okay.
No,
So let me
clarity,
clarify
not
my opinion. So let me just
clear.
speak my
Not
piece.
agree.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway. So
We're gonna do a report on the movie. At least get
So-
the quote from.
anyway,
That's
there's this movie goes off the deep end a little too much in my personal opinion, as in like the part where Dennis Prager, he goes up to these black students at this black school and he's like, "Hey, is freedom of speech good?" And they're like, "Yeah, kind of." That should have been the end of the scene. The scene then went on to have Dennis Prager talking about how black people aren't oppressed, and I was like, well, why did you keep? What does this have to do with the movie? What does this have to do with
Yeah,
freedom of speech? You
I
just
agree with that. That was such a strange part that just didn't match up, and I was sitting there like, "That's kind of weird."
yeah.
That
And-
was a thing.
Why
Yeah,
is
I
that in
understand
the
that.
movie?
I think I'm gonna have to.
I guess that was a conversation that was happening, and that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
That's
but like
not-
then it
That
kind
has
of
nothing to do
derailed.
with moral.
It derailed because then there was like interviews about how black people aren't oppressed and shit, and then it kind of just spiraled a bit at the end. Like
Yeah, they did do that a lot. The guy I was talking about earlier, how he tried to show off his cars.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Oh, I'm not oppressed," or I'm not privileged or whatever in the beginning of the movie.
oh yeah,
Once again, has nothing to do with the argument.
yeah.
It's bringing race into the problem. That's exactly what it did.
Well,
That time it wasn't the other way around where it's like, oh well, you can't say what you mean because you're privileged.
well, here's
That's
my stance on it is that I don't care, if if the argument he was making is right or
if the
wrong.
movie was about that, sure, put it in. But
Yeah,
it wasn't.
it's not. That's my problem. that's why it's not even really worth talking about whether it's right or wrong what he's saying, because that's not my problem. My problem is that, it kind of derailed a bit. And the part where he was like, if you're conservative, you can't get a job, and if you get a job, you get fired from the job, and then he just kind of provides no evidence. That's another time,
Yeah,
like,
he has no evidence.
especially right in the beginning of the movie, to just like drive that far off the deep end. I felt like that was an interesting, choice that didn't really pay off.
Yeah.
But
Am I allowed to bring up the Christian thing?
oh yeah,
Are we?
spoiler
Do we even
alert,
need
I guess.
Do you even need like a spoiler warning? Like,
Spoilers.
is this-
No, I'm
Well,
kidding.
there is a part in the movie where this girl comes in, and she's saying, "Oh, I got canceled or whatever because I didn't vote on a bill that went against my religion as a Christian
Yeah.
person."
Let me give you the full
So
context.
they didn't mention the bill that
Nick,
she was
you're fucking
complaining about.
spetting out.
Yeah, dude. Your mic's going a little bit off.
So
Stephen
after
Rock.
further investigation, we found out that it was in fact about LGBT rights.
Nick,
And
Yes.
do you have something to say? Do you need to speak
Yeah.
your piece?
Yeah.
What
I feel like
happened?
you missed the part about how this lady got basically harassed by a large number.
Yes, absolutely. She was harassed in public, and which I disagree with. Obviously, I don't think that's right. I do think that you can start the argument. Hey, I don't want somebody with that type of opinions making decisions for everybody else.
But she was
That's
one
not
person.
something I would
So
want.
people,
Well,
But
I guess Nick has nothing else to
obviously,
say.
don't do that.
what? Did you not hear me speak?
No,
Nick,
No,
your mic is
keep
broken, dude.
Cutting out.
you're fucked up. Go in a place with your Wi-Fi shit. Go in a place with better reception.
I have full Wi-Fi.
Well, now you do. So
Yeah.
talk. Say what you're gonna say.
No.
All right.
Okay, well, I guess that's 1 for Steven, 0 for the Republicans. Anyway.
Okay. Whoa, if there's a score involved, hold on. I gotta remember. Okay, so Steven, saying what this lady representing, right? She's one on a massive council of kids who's, even if she said no, that wouldn't stop the bill from
Yeah,
getting.
it wouldn't have mattered much, but
But still, I get what he's
Never get-
saying. If you don't want that person representing you, because that's why we have elected officials to represent us. So,
then yeah, I mean, I get that, but maybe don't,
yeah, well, no, I'm
cancel
agreeing
her.
with you.
Cancel culture is stupid anyway, but
Yeah. But, like, obviously her being harassed and shit was bad. But the fact
no,
that the,
obviously, I
yeah.
absolutely disagree with that.
but the fact that the
human
movie kind of
being-
covered up, yeah. Like,
Yeah, it completely covered it up because it expected people not to look it up,
yeah.
fact check it, and I knew it. I had this feeling like,
Yeah,
okay,
me too.
well, I'm waiting for them to
Oh,
say
go
it
and
to at
even-
least tell us what
say-
bill she missed. And I had a feeling it was about LGBT things because you saw a flag with LGBT flags on it, which yes is sometimes shoved into situations where it has nothing to do with it. By the way, I'm almost at my situation. I'm almost at the end of this, so
Okay.
thank you for having me on.
Oh, yeah.
No
Nick,
problem, buddy.
But yes, I do think that was a part of the movie that definitely should have been clarified because
Yes.
it shows the other side of the argument better.
yes.
All right, thank you for having me.
No problem.
I hope to see the rest of this very great podcast.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
going to go now and call
It's
up my
the
friend
best.
so she knows I'm here. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Um,
But yeah, I do agree that the movie did. Nick, you might disagree with what they did, but the movie itself, it tried to cover up what the Asian girl did. 100%.
Okay, so let's get this straight here. They did not put it in there.
Uh-huh.
What does it change if it was added?
What does it change? Well, it changes that, the whole movie was about how, the libs were overreacting to, like, everything. Like, you saw that with, the libs
here's the
fig.
You know how this lady, she was the Christian, the Christian representative of the
Yes.
campus, right?
Yes.
Last time you've heard like a religious official saying, "Oh yes, I stand with LGBT. Like it is not in the religion.
All the time. Yeah, I hear that
It's
all the time. People,
not a
religious
surprise.
officials.
It's not a surprise that a Christian representative would not agree. Now, I'm not saying that she's in the right or she's in the wrong, because personally, I don't care either way.
Uh-huh.
But I just don't think it would have changed much whether or not they added it. But I do feel like they should, so
Yeah,
that they could get the conversation that we're having right now.
yeah, I think they do. They would. It's not even the fact that they didn't add it. It's that I felt like they were by like the act of not adding that is basically trying to cover it up because obviously people are gonna have the question. Well, what was the vote on? I mean, that's yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
falls into the question the other stories that they brought up, because most of this movie they were bringing up examples of
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah, it's the whole
Like,
movie.
one thing being like, I guess, like covered up. Now we have to call into question the other stories too. And if we looked in there and saw all of these things that were factors that weren't mentioned, that's a problem.
Yeah, well, I feel like, but that was kind of a major factor. That was kind of the conflict of interest in that situation. It just wasn't mentioned. Obviously, these aren't stories that were made up. These are real stories. You're not going to get accounts from everyone. Um, but I feel like that was just kind of negligent. The fact that they didn't mention that, like, purposeful negligence. But I agree that the reaction was harsh, but I feel like this movie kind of in a way tried to appeal to Dems, but kind of half-assed it in my opinion.
Yeah, especially with some of the parts where they did like where they did have like liberals on there on the movie, but they weren't given that much screen time, and they like
Yeah.
be there to have like a few conversations, get what they wanted to say, and then they would just cut to the next bit of riots breaking out on college.
Yeah. And we especially saw this half-assery when the movie would kind of, again, like I said before, shoehorn in these conservative views, like the whole, black people aren't oppressed thing that didn't fit, the whole conservative people getting fired that didn't fit, and they just didn't do it right. With a little bit of tweaking, this could have been a bipartisan movie that could be enjoyed by like liberals and conservatives, but they slanted it too much towards the right that I don't know. I just feel like it was a missed opportunity because, making a movie like this for conservatives is preaching to the choir. There's
They
no
already
point.
know what the movie's trying to tell them,
Well, we
and
didn't.
they're already, huh?
What are you talking about? They already know that what the movie's trying to tell them.
Conservatives are like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the views, like they
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Why not make a bipartisan movie, show both sides, and then get an even better conversation
hmm
going?
And this movie, the thing is that this movie gets so close to doing that. It's just that they had to like ram the fucking conservative views in there. And it's again, I'm not saying I disagree or agree with any of them. That's not what this is about. It's about how the movie missed an opportunity to, be actually neutral. And, because I feel like if I was like a hardcore lib watching that movie, I would kind of feel attacked there. I would kind of feel like, wait a second, I thought this was a movie about freedom of speech. What the fuck is this shit? I don't agree with this. Ooh, who are these people? I hate them. You know, especially again, I keep bringing this up, but the whole conservative people being fired thing, they had no proof of that besides the actors like when Roseanne Barr like did her tweets, they had that, but like Jay was talking about how if you're conservative you get fired. Not only did they not have any evidence, but they also put that right in the beginning of the movie, which I feel like would have just fucked it up right out of the gate for a lot of people. Especially because the liberals are the people that they should be talking to right now. Because they're the ones that aren't entirely on board. This movie just could have been better. It had the right, idea, it had the right thesis. It just could have been better.
Definitely.
Hey, Seabass, what do you have to say about that?
All right. Well, I think that the movie itself, again, the thesis was good. I enjoyed the actual topic because that's a good thing to fight for and all that.
Uh huh.
But the one problem that I found with it whenever I was watching it was they really did talk a lot, if I would even say too much, about conservatives.
Oh yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like they talked way too much about them. And so it's like by the end of it, I felt like it was literally I felt like it was more of the conservatives' point of view instead of the
yeah,
like everyone's point of
yeah.
view because
That was my point. Yeah, like that. This movie
yeah,
is.
They made it a point to mention during one of the interviews that like, oh, conservatives and liberals both agree that freedom of speech is important, and then they would
yeah,
like
yeah.
never go anywhere with that.
Well, like they would do that, but then whenever they would have the liberals on, it wouldn't really be for too long. It would just be for
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
a
no,
tiny bit.
uh,
And then
they get
I was
one sentence.
yeah, yeah.
I was I was doing a thing as well where in my mind I was trying to see which people would be mentioned more than once,
Mhm.
and I was seeing which people would be. So at the end of it, it was mostly just a whole bunch of conservatives being mentioned, and
Yeah,
the liberals got once or maybe even twice if they were lucky in order to be mentioned. But
yeah.
it's like that's really all they got, and it's like I would right. I'm pretty much a person who doesn't really go for any of the sides. I don't care which. It's
Mhm.
fine. Both sides have their own arguments, and I honestly don't want to get into the debate. But like, if you're gonna make a movie about spreading a neutral new side to the equation, you can't just say conservatives are doing this and they are therefore the dominant, while liberals are doing this and they are therefore the lesser. It's like you can't do that. You got to at least have like a
Real
nice
fast.
neutral ground instead of just having
Yeah,
one of them all the way up here and the other one all the way down there.
yeah.
And so it's like you have that whole thing going, and that honestly just kind of it ruined the experience that's had bit for me. And
Well,
then like they would try to like what I thought the animation, like the little tiny cartoons they'd have in the middle of it. What I thought they were like little cartoons because you know how on YouTube videos and editing and all that, right? You always have people who put in like little tiny clips and all that to make
yeah,
the video a little bit more funnier to relate to like some sort of population.
yeah.
Like
I wouldn't know about that, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking they were trying to do.
Mhm.
But then like they
Those
just put him in weird they put him in weird areas
Yeah.
because it's like in the beginning you had like one or two and they were pretty funny. I laughed.
Uh.
I'll give it that. But it's like you had those two, and then throughout the rest of the movie there was like no more of them. So you just had those two little like comic relief skits that you were thinking would do
Uh huh.
that, but then like through the end you just didn't have any more of them, and it was like,
Yeah.
all right.
In
I mean, sure
the
Ben Shapiro would probably count, but like still, just
the first half of the movie was definitely like that part like again I said it was the weaker half because that was the one with the most like unoriginal footage like
yeah,
pretty much there would be one original scene then there would be like a fucking cartoon or something from a TV show or something stupid like that and then they
yeah,
would go to a news clip and then they would go to another news clip and then there would be an original scene like Nick said the first half of the Nick said the whole movie, but I'm thinking more of the first half. Just didn't have like enough original content. It was just like a slideshow, a PowerPoint presentation of just shit getting thrown at you.
whenever I was starting to sit into it, and I was kind of like getting into it,
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, whenever I first saw like two people talking, I was like, okay, this is going to be some sort of movie where it's probably going to be more of a documentary than a comedy. So
Mhm.
like, I was watching it and I'm like, yeah, it's going on. And so, yeah, and I can admit that in the first part, I was kind of getting bored. I was talking to friends more than I was actually watching the movie.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, yeah, I was just more talking than actually watching. And I mean,
Yeah.
like, I was listening and stuff, but it was like, it felt like I was in a school and it was one of those presentations. It was like
Yeah.
your chemistry teacher giving you an hour-long speech about a certain element or something like that. And then you're just like, you're wanting to not fight. You're wanting to fight the urge to sleep. But you just can't. And then you just fall asleep in your desk. That's kind of how like the first part was. Then like the second part was like, it wasn't too bad,
Uh-huh.
but it was more or less of like how these people, it pretty much what it did was it showed a person, how they were being affected, and then how this contributed to something. And that
Yeah.
was pretty much what it was. That was the entire like sort of length of it, where it was just person got affected somehow. this thing happened, this is how it happened, and this is how they're affected, and then it just keeps going. And it's like, it's fun, but to an extent, to
Yeah,
where
like
it's like,
formulaic.
yeah, and that's just like, yeah, this person did. It's like you already know something's gonna happen whenever they show a different person. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, this something bad happened to him, and then this other thing happened. Like the college one with the two teacher, like the one, it wasn't it two teachers, I'm pretty sure, who got not, I don't think fired, but they just got like
Yeah,
the
they got
other
fired
teacher.
at the end.
Yeah, it was like that thing kind of happened, and that was, I was like, yeah, that happened. Like, you can't, like, you feel bad for him, but then it's just like in the entire movie, it's like, yeah, that happened, and then this is going on. I don't know. I
Yeah.
honestly just, it just did that, and I was like, like you already knew something bad was coming whenever you saw a person. That's all I'm saying there.
Well, here's again another important question that will that will really test the quality of the movie. I guess Seabass, you go first, but I want all of us to answer the question. Do you believe, after watching this movie, that freedom of speech is threatened? Yes or no, and why? Oh,
Well, Joe is dead.
no, you're
Oh, he's
dead.
back.
Okay, wait, no. Okay, Seabass, say what you just said, or I don't know, somebody cut out. So,
Please, you just cut out. Please
oh,
say the question again.
so
Question.
I was just saying. Do you believe that freedom of speech is under fire and this movie was, necessary? Or do you feel like it was just being paranoid and freedom of speech is actually just like, it's fine? It's just a bunch of stupid college kids. Yes or no? Why? Seabass, go.
Um, I would say that um, it's hard to give a concrete answer for that question, but I would say that the movie did vocalize it a bit. It did
Hmm.
actually make it a point, but like, yeah, I don't know, because like I haven't really heard of any recent college riots happening, and in the movie there was a lot of college riots.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like almost every single other scene is literally just a college riot going down. It's like
And
I could understand that, but like I think if if this movie didn't come out, because we had to petition for this movie. This was a movie that
Yeah.
we actually had to sign up for and everything. Like this was not going to be aired there. We were like some of the people who actually helped get the movie there. So it's like even if this movie didn't happen, I think I'd have to say no on that one, because if it comes to be a really really big problem, then at some point some speaker is going to come up and someone's going to say something about it. A leader is going to be born, and then they're going to start saying something about it. Then at some point people will start believing that, and it's like that's what I think would happen. Then the movie was there. It said what it had to say. It vocalized it, which I did like. It did that. So like the movie would help, but then like if you think about it in the long run, there'd probably be another person who would probably vocalize it as well if it became too much of an issue. Like,
Well,
I don't think
okay,
that's yeah. Yeah.
Nick, I think we'll get past it to you because I think I can just tell that you probably do not agree with a lot of that. So just before we get too much on our plate, Nick, you go.
And,
me.
Yeah, go.
Oh, okay, because there are certain things that I don't agree with, and but I feel like it's just a lot of stupid college kids that are making this a bigger issue than it really is because no one actually cares about the things that they're rioting over.
Hmm.
Uh,
hmm.
college kids.
I
If
think you
this
cut
does,
out. Yeah, he cut out.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude,
well,
your mic.
anyway, um, I guess I'll just say my piece while Nick, fucking does whatever with his
Oh,
phone
he left.
to get to work. Wait, he left the chat? Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
hopefully.
1 sec, I'm
It's
just gonna
fine.
add him back real quick.
Yeah.
Hello? Can you
hello,
hear?
can you hear me?
Yes.
God, this is the movie that I have the strongest opinion about, and I haven't been able to say anything because of why that shouldn't be an issue.
Because the microphone is just killing you. All
So
right.
so just go. Keep saying what you were saying.
What's the
Yes.
last thing you said?
I
Or
don't
you
remember.
heard
It
me?
was like you're like it's just a bunch of like a few stupid college kids. That was like the last thing you said.
Yeah. It's a few stupid college kids that are throwing tantrums over stuff that no one actually cares about,
Hmm.
and I don't know how they got into Ivy League schools.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's
If
the
they're
problem. That's the
Yeah, if
problem
they're
that the
damaging freaking property, like they're literally shattering windows over someone saying one word that they don't like.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
didn't really
the
understand that. That was
college thing,
bad.
this I don't believe it's happening on a larger scale like the movie makes you believe,
Uh-huh.
as I have yet to see like full scale protests. Like you don't look outside the streets of Philadelphia and you don't see people marching down waving flags every day.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess I think that's also what the movie was trying to address, and maybe that this is a weakness of the movie that we didn't pick up on it. But I think the movie tried to say that this is the beginning. You know, this isn't the middle.
Yeah,
This isn't the end. We're not at like the climax of this story. This is just the beginning. This is where it starts. We're not at the point
Yeah.
where like everybody is freaking rioting in the streets, but it starts at the colleges because they're the kids are the future. These college
yeah,
kids, they're the future, and if that's what they're doing, that's what everybody's gonna be doing.
Mm,
I think
maybe.
that's the point it tried to make.
which is so important that they mentioned Wow Wow Wubsy at Congress.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
who was that again? Oh yeah, they totally freaking dissed Wow Wow Wubsy.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah.
I wasn't even expecting to hear that name, and they did him like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That made me feel sad. I was like, no, not Lubsy.
Dude, freaking on the No Safe Spaces official Facebook. Apparently, they were working on this movie since 2017, but they have like trading cards from the social justice warriors thing.
Oh, we
As
have to
like,
get them.
yeah,
Oh,
but like, yeah, they must have been working on this movie for a very long time. Jesus Christ. But like,
So
yeah,
I guess that's why you don't have any footage from like 2019, which was something that I said that probably got cut out.
yeah,
Um, like
maybe.
while one
Yeah.
of you was talking, like
y-
the main issue was like they were showing a lot of older footage, but I guess that's because that's what they had because they worked on it at 2017.
hmm It
like,
wasn't really relevant to the times.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It kind of acted like Obama was still president too.
yeah, they showed a
Yeah.
lot of
There's a lot of Obama clips.
Yeah. But I guess that might have been the whole part where they tried to appease the libs, like showing Obama like, oh, you love Obama. This is Obama agreeing with us. So maybe that's why they didn't show Trump at all. Again, they half-assed that whole thing, but still they
They didn't
tried.
really, well,
Yeah,
they didn't
they
really
only
have an.
mentioned his name in passing as like a little joke, but they never really
Did
like
they ever say
showed.
Trump? Did they?
Yeah,
I
they
didn't.
said Trump.
Trump. They said Trump a few times, but not much.
Huh.
It was just
I
for.
count singular time when this guy was like, "Oh, this is how you trump like X. This is how you trump Y," and then he
Oh yeah,
finishes
yeah.
off
This is
by
how
saying,
you
"This is
Trump
how you
Trump.
trump."
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only scene that they mention him, to my knowledge.
Yeah. I think you're right. But I'm surprised they didn't have any clips of him. I don't know. But again, that was probably the parts where they tried to appease the libs, but again, didn't really work as well as maybe it should have. Um, let's see. Anything else to talk about?
Yes, there is one thing I've been waiting to talk about,
Oh, okay.
and it
Let's
has
hear it.
nothing to do with the movie itself.
Oh my God.
It
Oh,
has to
is it
do with the
with the
four
front?
individuals sitting to my right.
Oh my goodness. Here, I'll talk to him. I'll talk about it with you because I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, you want to go first? You want to start it up?
Go on first, okay. While
Yeah,
my
you may go.
phone is like actually communicating my voice.
Yes, it is. You're primed, dude. You're primed. Go. You are primed
So
for this.
to my right, I'm pretty sure they don't care me name dropping them, but we had freaking Isaac, we had Max, and then we had two Stevens. Okay. Isaac, the entire movie, was shaking like he was in a magnitude 10 earthquake and nearly spilled his drink 4 separate occasions. Okay, then Max would just start talking like out of nowhere, like start like
People from in front of the seat shushed him.
yeah.
Good.
This is the first time I've ever been to a movie where someone turned around and actually asked us to shut up. And then the other Steven, he was fine. He didn't do anything. But then the Steven, all the way at the end, freaking, when he came into the theater, this was well after the movie started, by the way, because it took 4 years getting food. He drags his coat along the full row that was in front of us, and they're all turning and looking at him. And Steven, as you heard earlier, he said, "Oh, I didn't know I was doing it." When we could all hear it sliding along the chairs. And then, then they would just keep like talking throughout the movie. Never felt so much like a librarian in my life.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta say, from my perspective, I had a great time. I had a very peaceful time watching this movie. Sat next to 2 old people, didn't say a goddamn thing, and at the end, yeah, the 2 old people they turned to us and they're like, no, at the end of the movie, they're like, "Did you like it?" I'm like, "Yeah." It was like I had the best people to sit next to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, no, dude. Like, I was in the middle of Nick, and then I'll name drop Leo. Why not? I was in the middle of both of them, and it's like, it wasn't too bad. But since Isaac was 2 seats from me, since he was sitting right next to Nick, it was very fun because it felt like I was in one of those mall seats, and the thing was on, and it was massaging me, except I didn't like it all because I'm trying to watch the movie, and I still want to feel myself going up and down, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then I turn over, and all I see is Isaac's leg just going at like Mach 4, like a jackhammer ground, and I'm like, jackhammer. And it's like he's shaking almost the entire row.
But never to that magnitude.
Yeah, and it's like, then he just starts shaking his drink and everything. Honestly, there's one life lesson that we have learned in this endeavor that's made us a bit stronger. Make sure you go to movies with good people. If you don't go to movies with non-good people, that happens.
Well,
I mean, they're all good people, but it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, just know who to go to movies with. That's
I
all I'm
wish I
saying.
could show the viewers the way Isaac was shaking his cup. But since we're doing a podcast, I have to do my...
Why did he shake his cup?
At 180 degrees both ways and going about 40 miles an hour. And that's what I was doing. And I was worried I was coated in sugar.
Why was he trying to shake it? Why was he shaking his drink? Why?
I don't know. Was he like... I guess he was nervous that Ben Shapiro would have crawled out of the screen and owned him with facts and logic.
Yeah. It was probably the Uber driver he had. He was scared the Uber driver would walk right in.
Yeah. So Max, who was originally not going to come to this movie...
well, originally he was, then he wasn't, then he did.
Yeah, Max pulled off a promo during that entire thing.
He pulled out, so that means Isaac's ride was lost. So Steven, who was here at the beginning of this podcast, called an Uber, which I guess permanently scared Isaac for the rest of the evening.
Well, he was also like one of 2 black guys in a room of old conservatives while they were talking about how black people are unoppressed and showing a bunch of black people rioting. It might not have been the most comfortable experience for him.
He must have felt the need of a safe space then, huh?
Oh, yes. This was not a safe space.
Some of the older folk in the theater like yelling or like exclaiming their whatever when something happened, like when the one dude who was just filming gets punched by this 6-foot gorilla.
My gosh, yeah.
But
that was, yeah, I don't know. That was like, dude, I would look over to my left, and I would just see Joe and like Julia, and I'd be happy. I'd be like, okay, these 2 people are fine. I can watch a movie with them next. Then I look over, I see Nick, who's the saving grace, and then everyone else down the row, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Then I'm like, okay, just don't look to the right. Just look a little bit over so I can at least see Nick and no one else. That's all I need to do.
Joe, then, like, I really wish that, like, when we had to move, okay, so when we first went to the theater, the 2 people who were talking to Joe at the end of the movie, they were sitting in our spot.
Uh-huh.
Except once we got that all settled out, Joe was sitting next to them. And he's like, "Oh, you have to move because Julia wants to see her." I'm like, "Oh, that's fine." After the movie ended, I realized that I probably should have just reversed my seat with Joe, so that I could have been in a safe from the rest of the gremlins.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, for next time, but I can invite them anyway, cause why not?
Probably.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I think I
Oh,
had a,
sorry.
I like this movie more than I thought I would. Despite the fact that fucking animation with the fucking First Amendment was mentally scarring, and I'm gonna have nightmares about how bad that animation was and how skinny they made fucking Dennis Prager in the animation was so unrealistic. But you know, I liked it overall. It was good enough. It did its job. It could have been more focused. It could have been a lot better, but it wasn't. And you know what? That's okay. It was okay. So,
Wasn't the word.
It's
oh,
time for the official movie hoppers rating.
The official movie hoppers
yes.
bring
I guess I already
you it.
blew my load, so I'm gonna give it my number. I gave it a 6. That is on the border of not recommending it and recommending it, but it's on the side of recommending it. So I get because it did do its job. After the movie, this movie that I expected nothing from, this movie I did not expect to agree with at all. I walked out of the theater with all our pals, all our hyperactive pals, and everybody talked about it. Everybody had a conversation, and yeah, you know what? That's what it was meant to do. Start a conversation. It did that, so it fulfilled its purpose. Recommend 6 out of 10. Nick, go.
Yep. I agree with Joe's rating here, 6 out of 10, because this movie fulfilled its purpose. It did not go above and beyond. It also could have worked on the things that we have discussed so far.
Yep.
That's about it.
So, what about you, Seabass?
Well, we got a movie hopper triple. I also voted a 6.
Oh, 6.
Wait, hold
Yep.
on. Your rating has dropped since yesterday.
It has.
Wait a minute. I just realized something. Oh no. We all voted
What?
it 6. That's 3 sixes in a row. You know what that means?
Satan.
Satan.
Yeah. But no, I'll actually give my reasoning. Like, I think with what you two said, it was also pretty. There were some parts I enjoyed, some parts they should have worked on. Like it did its purpose. That's what I'm saying. It did its purpose. It fulfilled it. It sparked conversation. Like, especially at the end of the movie, even though all of that stuff happened, it was by the end of it, we were all just outside in a circle talking about politics, and it's like I haven't done that in so long, and I really never really get into those conversations. It's like it's nothing I really ever like to talk about. 'Cause
I do
it
quite
always
agree.
leads to one person saying something and then another person trying to retort it and so on.
Yes,
But it's like whenever you sometimes like do that with politics and all that with other people who you know of it like that time I wasn't actually feeling like I was like a Debbie Downer or anything. I actually felt like I was giving some insight in and all that. And it felt nice. I enjoyed the nice little debates we had and all that. So I would give it a 6 for that reason.
Yep. Well, and one final question, guys. Is Dennis Prager anti-Semitic?
yes, I think he's a big
We may never know the answer to that one.
xenophobic, racist, anti-Semite.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Although,
This is a joke. This is a joke.
this is a bro moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'll add this movie to my repertoire when I'm having a political debate over a game of Uno.
Yes. I guess that's it.
Wow,
that
Oh,
was
Joe,
that was
you,
long.
you can do a better outro than that. Done.
Okay. Well,
Passion into it.
okay. I gotta think about Nick. How about you do the outro? You're always so keen on doing the
Oh, we're on
intros.
the outro. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. That was another fantastic movie hoppers debate, discussion, review of what is this movie called?
No safe spaces.
Yeah, and thank you, Sebastian, for participating, and we'll see you all in my episode of the Movie Hoppers.
Yay.
Okay, now I'm gonna do my outro, my better one. Anyway, Oh wait, I just muted myself.
No, I
I
already
muted
ended it.
myself, not you.
Okay.
Okay. See you next time on another episode of the Movie Hoppers when I think we're gonna do the Playmobil movie. I got that all lined up, so that should work. So yes. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, there are no safe spaces in real life. See
Whoop
ya.
whoop. Bye.